everybody, it's Jennifer Seeger. Welcome back to my channel, The Seeger Stories. I'm just popping on today to do a quick video and check in on our 2022 monthly resolution. So if you've been following along or following my channel, you may recall that in January, I kind of started in motion this plan to divide up my yearly resolutions into kind of small chunks month by month. So each month I'm going to be doing throughout 2022 a different challenge, learning a new skill, just basically with the intention of trying to form new healthier habits and change some bad behaviors. So we did a challenge in January where we met step goals, walking 7,500 steps at least 80% of the month, and then also trying to cut out sweets. Spoiler, go back and watch that video. That did not work out so well. I had a little trouble with the sweets, but we got our steps in and then wanted to continue that into February. I'm proud to say that in February, absolutely, Nate and I both met a step goal and exceeded it a lot of the days. We're really getting into some workouts and things on our treadmill that we also purchased last month in January. And so throughout the month of February, we were meeting or exceeding that goal daily and having a lot of fun. We had the iFit membership that came along with the treadmill, and I'll link the treadmill that we got below because it's super fun and it's like best purchase ever. So we've really been loving that. I know right now I just finished up an Italy walking series. Nate's been walking in Costa Rica, I think, and it's just kind of cool to get to see the world, enjoy some nice weather when we're stuck in a very, very cold Minnesota winter, and continue that challenge. Kind of feel like we've really formed a new habit throughout the month of February. But the big challenge in February were two challenges that I want to kind of recap today and then be announcing what I plan on doing for the month of March. But the big challenges in February were we did the Whole30, which this is going up on, of course, March 1st. Today is our last day of the Whole30. On the 28th of February, we actually started the last couple days of January. And so I guess I'll talk about that one first and then move into our next challenge, which was limiting screen time. So the Whole30, this is, I had to go back and kind of look. I filmed a video on it last year and I'll link that for you. Just some of my experience, and I filmed also on this Whole30 another what I eat in a day. So this was my 5th full Whole30, but I say it's kind of my 5.5 because we did this, we called it a Whole15. For Nate and I, we enjoy the Whole30 just to use as a tool for a reset. It is not a sustainable diet. It is meant to only be 30 days, and really it's an elimination diet to help you find sensitivities to different foods. So you're cutting out things like alcohol, dairy, grains, sugars, all of that, and kind of getting rid of anything that might cause some digestive issues, inflammation, etc., etc. So for us, you know, we did this the first time with introduction in mind and kind of identified those foods that we were sensitive to, found out, you know, some different soy sensitivities with me, and Nate really just, you know, dairy isn't great for him later in the day. But really we found that we're fortunate that not too many food groups affect us. So it served its purpose like the first time, and we try to stay where we're eating whole and natural foods all the time. But of course we're human. Things usually tend to slip up around the holidays. So this was a big reset for us, kind of coming off the Christmas season, get through the month of January, which I always think is like, it's too hard to do at January 1. I always feel like. So February is a really good month. This is the second year in a row we've done it that month. And it's always, like I said, a good reset. You kind of detox your body, get off the sugar, get off processed foods, and really focused on whole fruits, vegetables, responsibly sourced meats, things like that. And we've always found, like, consistently that week 1, it's kind of challenging, right? You're making a big change. Week 2 always feels sluggish, like really food cravings are setting in and you're like, seriously, we have to do this for like 2 more weeks. Week 3 is where the energy starts to kick in, and by week 4 you're like, oh my gosh, they call it tiger blood. Like, I'm so energetic and just want to keep eating this way forever because I feel amazing. And that has always been how I have followed. I've followed this trend. That's kind of how they lay it out in the book. I'll link the book below too if you want to kind of read more about they call it the sciencey stuff of things. But I have always followed that trend. This year, the Whole30 was very different for me, and I'm kind of still in the midst of processing the why. And I'll maybe check in on that on a later video because I think I'm gonna need to continue just listening to my body and trying to figure out what sort of changes I'm going through right now. But this is the first time, like I said, week 1, normal reaction on the Whole30 is, it's kind of tough. I had no problems this time, flying through it. Week 1, piece of cake, love it, we're feeling energetic. Week 2, same thing. Again, normally I feel sluggish and I start to feel, you know, like, oh, this is kind of tough. Your body, like your gut health is supposedly changing during that second week. And again, for me, week 2, high energy, felt great. I thought, why did I ever think this was challenging? And the more times I've done it, you know, it's not challenging. We have our tried and true recipes. But I mean, this time I was really like, haven't we always eaten this way? I'm having no averse reaction to like drastically changing my diet and cutting out all these foods. So we get to week 3 and then I'm still feeling good. Now I'm really energetic. Week 3 for me was definitely on par, you know, with former Whole30s that we've done where I'm really energetic, really feeling great about it. But then something started to happen to me towards the end of week 3 and I started to get really, really sluggish. In week 4, this past week, I will not lie to you, it has been a challenge. I have never experienced this on the Whole30. In fact, if you've done the Whole30 before and you're watching this and you've had a reaction where week 4 was not the best week out of the 4 weeks, please leave me a comment below and let me know if you found any reason, because I will not lie to you, I am a little perplexed right now. I, in the past week, have been very tired. I have been sluggish in a way that I haven't been this whole time on the Whole30. My energy has been lower. We've still been keeping kind of the same schedule, the same level of exercising, all of the things, and nothing that I can find has changed. We didn't introduce any new foods. We've been making a lot of the tried and true recipes. I just find that it was a challenge, and I was having the sluggishness. I was having some stomach aches, which usually occur in week 2, like gut health changing. And I guess, like I said, I'm perplexed. I don't really know why. I'm kind of, oh, the other thing I was gonna say is I've had an aversion to meat, which is kind of hard when you're just mostly eating fruits, vegetables, meats, and nuts. And I will admit in the last week, it's been more fruits, vegetables, and nuts for the healthy fats and things. And I really haven't eaten much meat over the last week and I felt better. But I was really having that aversion. We were eating the grass-fed beef as you're instructed to do. So I don't think we've got a bad cut of meat or it was that issue. Nate is feeling fine. I think my body is telling me something. And like I said, I'm in the midst of figuring out why and what's going on with that. So that's the recap on the Whole30. Today is the last day that we are having the Whole30, or when you're watching this, I guess. Today's our first day not on the Whole30 and we made it through, but it was a different experience for me and it was surprising and it's kind of making me think I need to listen to my body and maybe, you know, try some different forms of resets or introduce some new foods or try cutting out some things. I don't know. And again, it remains a mystery, but we did it. We met the challenge, so that's good. And what I do feel like I accomplished, even though it wasn't my traditional experience with the Whole30, I feel like it's, you know, it's a win. I don't feel like I'm craving the sugars. In fact, we had over the weekend, not 1, but 2 birthday parties that we have to go to because our nephews have birthdays really, really close together and separate sides of the family. So it's not a combined party. So there's like 2 birthday cakes and 2 ice creams and 2, you know, dinner sets of junk food, things like that. Not really junk food because where we had the meal, my brother was very accommodating and made us Whole30 food, which I so appreciate. I don't expect people to go out of their way to do things, but it is just so kind when they do. It makes life so much easier. But we had to go through and, you know, not eating the cake and things, and that's not really been a challenge. I have not felt like I need to go back on the sweets. I have found in the past, after I've eaten whole, good for me, natural foods and relied on getting my sugars and my sweet treats from things like fruit or dried fruits even, that when I do go back and, you know, somebody offers you like a bit of a Kit Kat or a candy bar or something, it starts to taste plastic to me. And I want to hang on to that and not get to the point where that kind of sneaky sugar gets back into my diet and I start wanting those, they call them Franken foods. You know, it's not natural. It's all processed. Those foods are kind of, I feel like they're designed to make you get addicted to them and want more. So hopefully we've done a reset in 2022 and learned we want to sustain this through the year. The other challenge that we had that I just want to recap for the month of February, and this is when we added at the last minute, so I wasn't sure how it was going to go. We did a limit on screen time. We allowed ourselves, I think I set the challenge up as an hour and a half per weeknight, but I'm going to tell you right now, we never even hit an hour, and I knew it was an hour or less. But I think I'd said an hour and a half. We had a busy month, and like I said, we've been doing the workouts on our treadmill, which took up a chunk of time in the evening. It's one treadmill and two of us. We can't do them together, so that kills like a couple hours. You don't really want to be watching a show or doing something where the other person is not able to join you. Plus, when you're cooking Whole30, you're making somewhat involved meals. I mean, nothing is overly complex, but you're not throwing a pizza in the oven or microwaving something. I mean, it's not quick dinner. So between getting home, taking care of our dog, making the dinner, and doing our workouts, we really did have very little time to watch TV. So it's a good month to pair those two challenges because it didn't really feel like a challenge. And on the weekends, again, we've been busy. We've had some projects going on and just some different things that we were doing, birthday parties that I mentioned. So we only failed on our goal 2 days out of the month to cut down on our screen time. And again, the same with the phones, you know, putting the phones away. We're on like our phones for work and things throughout the day. During the week, on the weekends, we tried to pack them away as much as we could. And I think we did pretty good on our time. I don't remember a time where we were ever over our 2.5 hour limit on the weekends per day of screen time, with the exception of the weekend between our third and fourth week on the Whole30. So this would have been like, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, was when I really started not feeling good and something was like wrong with my body. I was lightheaded, I was dizzy, I was having stomach cramps, feeling very sluggish. And you know, again, sometimes you just listen to your body, and it was a lay around kind of weekend, which happened to coincide with us finding it's not a documentary, it was just a show called Inventing Anna on Netflix. And if you haven't watched it, go watch it. We saw that it was trending. We're like, we'll try an episode. And this, like, it was definitely a binge watch situation between Saturday and Sunday. Not proud of it. It is what it is. I feel glad that we met the challenge the rest of the month, but hey, we had a lazy weekend and life is busy and we all need those. So I'm not beating myself up over this one. Overall, month of February, I'm considering it a win. Challenge done. Let's move on to March, because I know I've been talking a lot about February. I'm talking about like what happened. You want to know what's coming, so let's talk about that. So March is going to be a challenge that I know I need and not one that I'm really looking forward to. Do you ever have that where it's kind of like I'm feeling like it's an eat my vegetables moment as a grown-up? Okay, I have been in a rut with my morning routine, and I used to be a morning routine person. I was really good at it. I feel like I haven't had that sense of a strong morning routine since we moved into our house last October. And I know that sounds crazy. Like October seems like it's been a chunk of time, but I feel like my whole world got flipped upside down. I'm good with routines. I like to be organized. I still don't feel organized in this house. In fact, I'm gonna give myself a full 1.5 years before I'm gonna check that box, because I feel like it takes a while, especially for me personally, in a new environment to figure out how it's gonna work together. But anyway, I digress. So I really haven't had a strong morning routine. And especially so far in 2022, I am just not, even when I was feeling good and flying high tiger blood on the Whole30, I'm just not consistent with my mornings, and I would really like to be. I would like a consistent wake up time, but I know that that has been a struggle for me. And part of the big struggle, I will admit, is that we don't have the sunshine in the morning. And I'm a morning person, but I'm also like a morning / up with the sun person. So if the sun isn't rising till 8 a.m., I'm not really feeling like I want to be up at 8 a.m. Conversely, when we get to summer here and that sun is up at 5 a.m., I'm up, I'm raring to go. So I definitely know that about myself, but I also know that there are days that I have managed to drag myself up before the sun. I've gotten my workout in early, sat down, had a good hearty breakfast, have packed my lunch and not just kind of grabbed, like even on the Whole30, there are grab and go days, like as much as you want to plan for it. Life gets crazy. The dog won't go to the bathroom. We unfortunately encounter that a lot in cold weather where we're like, we gotta get to work and you won't go. So, but I think also she would benefit if we were consistent with it and getting out for a walk at the same time every day, because sometimes we're really early, sometimes we're really late. Sometimes I am crushing it getting up and getting my Bible study, which I also love doing my scripture reading in the morning. Sometimes I am sad to say that is not the thing I have time for and get out the door, and that's something that I either miss a day or do it in the evening. So my March challenge is to get back to a consistent morning routine. So those are some of the things I mentioned that I want to get done. I'm going to wake up at a consistent time every morning. I've decided on 5:15. I'm giving myself 15 minutes to rub my eyes and down some water and kind of wake myself up. I want to be down working out on our treadmill. Some of these great programs that we're doing with iFit have really good, motivation, so I feel like I'm working out with someone, which I think will be really helpful. But I also have another, I guess, solution for motivation I'll tell you about in a second. So getting down, getting on the treadmill, sticking with some of these consistent routines. I'm hoping to see what comes up after the Italy walking series, which I just did with Chris and Stacy Clark. I really enjoyed working out with both of them. They alternated. It was like hit days with rest days in between. And I really liked that they were not only pointing out some of the sites that we were seeing in Italy, but they were checking in with me, how's your posture, spine back, drive those arms. And I was like, I've never driven my arms when I power walked or sometimes a light jog before. Really does help you go. So I liked having that coaching. So I'm excited about it, excited to get that done in the morning. So it frees up our evenings a little bit more. And then consistent with my Bible study and eating a hearty breakfast. I feel like those are two things that go hand in hand. Sit down to eat and just read my scriptures. I think I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I am doing the Bible recap right now through the Bible app. Super simple to do. I think there's a starter. I'll find it and link it below for you. Because you can start any time of the year, but I started in January. I fluctuate. Some days I'm all caught up. Some days I'm a few days behind. But I'm in Leviticus right now and pretty proud of myself that I'm sticking through that because reading about God's law is, it's tough early in the morning. I'm just going to say it. Sometimes I'm like, hard to find God in this when you're just reading about keeping kosher, but we're getting through it because that has been a goal, and I hope to be over the course of the year attaining that and sticking with Bible recap, but I'd like to do it consistently in the morning. And then getting my lunch packed, getting something proper packed. Like I said, there have been some days even on the Whole30 where, especially when I've kind of had my meat aversion this last week, I'm grabbing a protein bar and an apple and a banana and we're hitting the road, and like maybe some carrot sticks. It's like, it's fine. It fills you up, it sustains you, but well, maybe not sustains you. There's been some tough days, and I know that if I can be consistent about getting a hearty, healthy, or heart healthy, maybe lunch out the door with me, that'll be great. And then also part of the morning routine will be consistently taking Ruby on her walk. And I know I said my wake up time was like 5:15. I'm gonna have to get into it a little bit to see how the timestamps kind of clock out, but I usually leave for work between 7:45 and 8 o'clock. I have a pretty flexible job. It's kind of like get there before 9. I try to be there between 8 and 8:30. So we'll be trying to hit our walk by the 7:30 mark and give Ruby a good long walk, because I know some days, and it should start warming up here in March, knock on wood, but we've had a lot of sub-zero days in Minnesota where we don't do much of a walk. It's like a 5-minute in and out thing because it is below zero, and Well, neither Ruby and I can be out for very long when it's that cold. So anyway, that's the morning routine. I mentioned I had kind of another idea in mind to help keep me motivated. I was telling a friend who is so sweet and watches my channel as well, gave her kind of a spoiler, like, this is what I'm planning for March, and I know that she has in the past tried to do that morning routine too, so I'm like, do it with me. So she is going to join me on this, and we are going to try to text each other. I'm trying to get another friend to join as well, so we can maybe have a group text going, but get some friends involved if you are following along with me. Follow me on social media. I'm trying to get more involved and active on social media, try to do like an Instagram post in the morning. I follow somebody that does that, and it's kind of fun. It's like one more thing that you need to do when you get up in the morning to be held accountable and hold others accountable that you know want to reach your same goals. So you can help them, they can help you. So I am really excited to have that sense of community and team. And like I said, do it with me, follow me on Instagram, and I'll try to do some posts so we can check in with each other, and you can DM me early in the morning. So we'll try to do that so we're up early. But I'm excited. I'm limiting the March challenge to one challenge because I feel like with the routine, that is a lot of things that I'm trying to get in and trying to get on a schedule, and I just want my sole focus to be there. So these resolutions for the month, you know, I've kind of said like one or two. I feel like this is a big one. Might not sound like a big one, but you guys, like right now it is a big one for me because I know this is my personal struggle. And I am really excited to get going. So actually I'm filming this, of course, the day before. So as you're watching it, hopefully this morning went great. And you saw a check-in on Instagram. You can follow me there at the Seeger Stories. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure and click like and subscribe below. I'll be checking in. I think I'm going to try to film a morning routine video once I get this down so I can kind of show you what that looks like. And I'd love to hear if you have goals coming up in the month of March. I want to hear if you're following along with these goals in the month of March and you're going to join me. Please leave me a comment below. Also, let me know your Whole30 experience. I really want to hear about that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.